Welcome to Schezzwho, Hampton Road's top spot for politics. This show is ever growing and you're the reason why. Make sure you provide your subscriptions, your views, your likes, and your comments. Each Schezzwho production is brought to you by great folks, beginning with Andrea, my lovely wife. Tune in to the Black Swan Chronicles for her latest shows. Her and I are in the midst of merch related to Schezzwho and the Black Swan Chronicles, so look out for all of them. Ellen's Homestyle and Barbecue, Positive Vibes Consulting, Farley Perkins Agency, and ALG Sweet Boutique. I'd like you to know these businesses as they're important. Ellen cooks great food at her two locations near Regent University in Regina Beach and Victory Crossing on Portsmouth Boulevard. Seiko Varner helps you financially and entertainment-wise over at Positive Vibes Incorporated. Call 757-932-0177. Farley Perkins helps you with important insurance needs. Call 757-271-6655. And Great Ice Cream and Shakes are at ELG Sweet Boutique at 340 High Street in Portsmouth. Tonight's topic will speak on grace. Tonight's topic will speak on hypocrisy. It will speak on incompetence. Think of what those words mean to you. Grace means courteous goodwill, like God's grace for humanity. Hypocrisy is a practice of claiming to have a behavior standard that one's own behavior does not conform to. Incompetence means the ability to perform something, the inability to perform something, and ineptitude. The Trump administration is giving grace to incompetence in its ranks on the matter of national security, a grace it hypocritically didn't extend to folks like Hillary Clinton. So let's walk through this. As of this time, Sunday night, March 23rd, I did not have this show in mind. Then The Atlantic published a story on March 24th wherein the recent bombing of Yemen, and here I will digress a second, I'll remind you that the American government is an empire with imperialist aims. It is warmongering in Yemen like it has done for many years. Obama, Biden, and Trump are all warmongers. Back to the bombing of Yemen recently. Trump bombed them a little before Sunday, March 16th. The guise was to hit the Houthi rebels hard, the Houthis being perceived as an Iran-backed terrorist group meddling in the Middle East. If it is, remember folks, it isn't the biggest Middle East terrorist group backed by a foreign power. That would be the Israeli Defense Force backed by the United States. Regardless, the Houthis were bombed. And there was someone in the American press corps who knew it was going to happen hours in advance. That press person is Jeffrey Goldberg of The Atlantic. It turns out Donald Trump's administration wanted to chat amongst themselves about the attack before it happened. Vice President J.D. Vance was involved. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth was involved. Secretary of State Marco Rubio was involved. National Security Advisor Michael Waltz was involved. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent was involved, or Bessent. National Security Director Tulsi Gabbard was involved, among others. Someone tapped in Jeffrey Goldberg in this private chat held over the messaging app Signal. And that, my friends, is a high-level no-no. Details of U.S. military operations are not to be had over public platforms such as Signal. In fact, some security experts are already saying that the group chat has possibly violated the Espionage Act. I know folks like Pete Hegseth, not fresh off a night knocking back 30 brewskis. Though I wouldn't be surprised if you feel he needs to have the sauce now. I know folks like Pete Hegseth were quick to say that this is all a hoax made up by Jeffrey Goldberg, to which we actually have the National Security Council and the Pentagon verifying Jeffrey's claim. Tulsi was in front of the Senate today testifying that no classified material was in the chat. Goldberg says a covert CIA agent's name was shared in the chat. Tulsi isn't in this position for 2 months, and she's already going down with the ship. Just days ago, March 14th, Tulsi shared on X the following status. Any unauthorized release of classified information is a violation of the law and will be treated as such. Uh-oh, Tulsi. Pete Hegseth back in 2016 said the following on Fox. And This was on the topic of Hillary Clinton's emails. If it was anyone other than Hillary Clinton, they would be in jail right now, because the assumption is in the intelligence community, if you are using unclassified means, there is potential for and likelihood of that foreign governments are targeting those accounts. Uh-oh, Pete. And I'll quote my favorite line from the movie Shanghai Nights. Does your incompetence know no bounds? 4 days ago, Hegseth was in the Oval Office. He was standing next to a sitting President Donald Trump. He said these words on live television. Under the previous administration, we looked like fools. Not anymore. I have a screenshot of Fox News covering that statement live. Oh, this is pretty high-level foolishness. This is high-level incompetence. You're all published and on camera. Then comes grace. Donald Trump is now out saying he stands behind National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. To quote Trump, Mike Waltz has learned a lesson, and he's a good man. He added Waltz had no impact on the operation. Imagine believing your national security advisor has no impact on these things. Imagine believing it's okay for your national security advisor, a former Florida congressman, to learn on the job by learning a lesson not to hold these talks on a public messaging app. And he's a good man. Was this much grace extended to Hillary Clinton by Trump in 2016 over the email scandal? Some experts, officials, and members of Congress contended that Clinton's use of a private email system and a private server violated federal law, specifically 18 U.S. Code 1924, regarding the unauthorized removal and retention of classified documents or materials, as well as State Department protocols and procedures and regulations governing record keeping. Clinton claimed that her use complied with federal laws and State Department regulations, and that former secretaries of state had also maintained personal email accounts. However, Clinton was the only Secretary of State to use a private server. News reports by NBC and CNN indicated that the emails discussed were innocuous matters that were already public knowledge. So I have to ask Donald Trump, is Hillary a good woman? Would you stand behind her? We know that is a no. And that email fiasco cost Hillary the election after Comey brought it up 11 days prior to the November 2016 election. How many times did Trump say, lock her up? Millions and millions. For years, I've seen the memes, butter emails. That's why. Bringing this all to hypocrisy. You ask any MAGA head, any Republican, if you ask the parties involved and Trump himself, they will circle the wagons and support each other. Fox, Newsmax, One America, they will all call this a nothing burger. But Hillary's emails weren't a nothing burger. And here we have nationally sensitive military movements and actions accidentally shown to the U.S. press hours before they take place. This is blatant hypocrisy of MAGA land. We need more Democrat leadership to fight this. And I encourage you viewers to join in this battle and watch Schezzwho as you do so.